Since the dawn of civilization, there has been architecture. Like with fashion, if we hadn't drawn influence from earlier architectural styles, modern architecture wouldn't be what it is today. The Stone Age inspired the Egyptians, who in turn influenced the Greeks, who in turn impacted the Romans, who influenced the eternal components of modern architecture. In this video, a list of architectural periods that are the foundations of our present-day structures. 10. Neolithic architecture. Neolithic. It was a period of human technological progress that began around 9500 BC in the Middle East and was also known as the New Stone Age. Pottery was invented during this period, as were tools for hunting, building, and cooking. The Neolithic peoples of the Levant, Anatolia, Syria, northern Mesopotamia, and Central Asia were master builders, constructing houses and villages out of mud brick. Houses were plastered and painted with elaborate human and animal scenes. Malta's Neolithic Mediterranean cultures worshipped in megalithic temples. Long houses made of wattle and daub were built in Europe. In addition, elaborate tombs for the dead were constructed. These tombs are especially common in Ireland, where thousands of them still exist. In the British Isles, the Neolithic people built long barrows and chamber tombs for their dead, as well as causewayed camps, henges, flint mines, and cursus monuments. This time period marks the beginning of human civilizations, spiritual beliefs, and the human desire to make life easier. 9. Ancient Mediterranean. This period encompasses Mesopotamia, ancient Egypt, Greece, Rome, and the Byzantine Empire from 300 BC to 300 BC. The ancient Mediterranean civilization, which lasted from antiquity to the beginning of the Middle Ages, is the result of significant historical events, and it is one of the most notable empires that had a progressive influence on the development of human cultures. This era saw the birth of writing, supporting columns, doors, windows, arches, sculpture, painting, engineering, the alphabet, agriculture, metalworks, and logistics. The ancient Mediterranean civilization arose from a continuous process of advancement, aided by inheritance from previous civilizations, easy maritime communication, and the exchange of ideas via migration and colonization. 8. Islamic architecture. From around 600 AD to the late 1700s, Islamic architecture encompasses a wide range of both secular and religious styles from Islam's foundation to the present day, influencing the design and construction of buildings and structures in Islamic culture. It combines Moorish, Abbasid Caliphate, Fatimid, Mamluk, Persian, Azerbaijani, Turkestan, Ottoman, Indo-Islamic, Sino-Islamic, Indonesian Malay, Sahelian Islamic, and Somali Islamic influences. The four main types of Islamic architecture are the mosque, the tomb, the palace, and the fort. The vocabulary of Islamic architecture is derived from these four types and used for buildings of lesser importance such as public baths, fountains, and domestic architecture. 7. Africa. For those who are unaware, Egypt is a country in Africa. Egypt may be considered Africa's most advanced region. UNESCO has designated the Pyramids of Giza as a World Heritage Site, and they are regarded as one of the greatest architectural achievements of their time. Egyptian architectural backgrounds influenced the rise of large structures such as building and temple complexes. In comparison to their Egyptian neighbors, ancient architecture south and west of the Sahara is poorly documented, so little is known about their architectural styles. Because each of these African ethno-linguistic tribes has had their own architectural traditions throughout history, African architecture is remarkably diverse. This entire region is united by a common theme that characterizes traditional African architecture: the use of fractal scaling. Small parts of the structure, such as a circular village made of circular houses, tend to look similar to larger parts. African architecture employs a variety of materials, including thatch, stick/wood, mud brick, rammed earth, stone, and other perishable materials. 6. Asia. This age encompasses all four corners of Asia and includes Persian architecture. It includes a wide range of geographically and historically dispersed structures, each with its own set of details and religious deities. Architecture reflects the diversity of each nation's culture. It is a synthesis of ancient and diverse indigenous traditions, as well as building types, forms, and technologies from West and Central Asia, as well as a few from Europe. Asian interior design is currently a popular trend in homes. Asian influences can be seen in the use of artworks, furniture, Zen, Balinese, and so on. 5. Pre-Columbian. The pre-Columbian era is the time in the history of the Americas before the advent of the European invaders in the 16th century, and it is characterized by the influences of Mesoamerican, Incan, Olmec, Maya, Aztec, and ancient North American architecture. The development of a vast road network covering the majority of the western length of the continent, the building of the first suspension bridges in the world, peoples who were excellent stone cutters whose masonry used no mortar, textiles, and the construction of platforms were their most renowned achievements, are the ways in which traditions are best known. The Machu Picchu and the pyramids, which are the largest buildings of their kind outside of ancient Egypt, are the most famous examples of pre-Columbian architecture. 4. Medieval period. The term medieval, also referred to as the Middle Ages, is used to describe a variety of architectural styles that were popular in medieval Europe. The fundamental traits of this architectural style were inspired by religious, military, and civil influences. This time span is divided into the pre-Romanesque, Romanesque, Gothic, and Renaissance eras. War, expansion, plague, and rebirth characterized this period. Round or slightly pointed arches, cruciform piers supporting vaults, almost skeletal stone structures with wide expanses of glass, windows with lovely stained glass depicting biblical stories, rosette windows, pared down wall surfaces supported by external flying buttresses, pointed arches using the ogive shape, ribbed stone vaults, clustered columns, pinnacles, sharply pointed spires, and don't forget the gargoyle are some of their distinguishing features. 3. Colonial. Think of Pocahontas, Magellan, Columbus, Lewis, and Clark during this period when men yearned to settle other continents. The colonial period is now. The majority of the materials used in architecture were items they discovered while exploring new frontiers. New European artistic patterns were transferred to or adopted by sites all over the world with the advent of numerous European colonial empires from the 16th century onward until the early 20th century, frequently developing into new regional varieties. Baroque, Classicism, Revivalism, Orientalism, and Art Nouveau are the subsectors of this era. 2. Early Modern. The early modern era is defined by Expressionist, Art Deco, and International style. Consider Old Hollywood, the silver screen at its peak. Early modern architecture began around 1900 with a number of building styles that shared similar characteristics, primarily the simplification of form and the elimination of ornament. By the 1940s, these styles had been largely consolidated and dubbed the International style. Modern architecture's exact characteristics and origins are still open to interpretation and debate. The maxim attributed to Louis Sullivan, "Form follows function," appears to have been a significant trigger. In architecture, functionalism is the principle that architects should design a building based on its purpose. 1. Contemporary architecture. Contemporary architecture can be subsumed under the umbrella term of modern architecture, but this epoch is beginning to stand on its own. This was the era when man first set foot on the moon, which influenced the concept of futurism in architecture. It combines regionalism, postmodernism, and deconstructive architecture. Green architecture, also known as sustainable architecture, is the most recent addition to this period. It is a broad term that describes environmentally conscious design techniques in the field of architecture. Simply put, the goal of sustainability, or ecological design, is to ensure that